Hey everyone, it's Halo here, and this is my Sinestro makeup tutorial. All the products used today will be listed throughout the video. Music used will be listed at the end of the video. Please remember to like this video, give it a yellow lantern thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on other social media that I may or may not have, share with your friends, family, etc. And as always, remember to tap that little bell so that you're always notified of when I upload a new makeup tutorial, and leave any comments in the comments box below so you can let me know what you think of this one. Hope you guys do enjoy this one. I did enjoy painting this one quite a lot. I couldn't really figure out what I was doing with the chest since it wasn't actually a lot of detail that was on it. It was more just shading for muscles, and I wasn't even going to do a full body paint today since I have work tomorrow and I already had work this morning, so whoops. And hopefully I can get the paint out of my ears before tomorrow morning, so yeah. Anyway,
I am starting off by covering my entire face with magenta body paint. I'm leaving my mouth and eyes until last just so I can see what I'm doing and be able to breathe properly. And do remember to colour in your ears as well. I did have work the next day. I did regret the decision, but nobody seemed to notice. I know Sinestro does have more pointed ears. I don't have any fake ears at the moment that I could have used for it, and I tried a paper method but it just was not working for me, so I just went with my normal ears. Then I powdered over the top of each eye individually once it had dried with some deep magenta eyeshadow from NYX. So mixing in some deep magenta with that other magenta body paint that we first used, I am blending it out into the skin to create more of the shadowy textures to it. Going over the top of that with straight magenta again, just to try and really blend it all into my skin. I know my face doesn't look 100% by Sinestro's by the end of this, but I kind of wasn't really going for a realistic one. It was more just to kind of get the vibe of him. You'll notice at the beginning of this video I didn't start by covering up my eyebrows. All I did was lightly paint over them with the magenta body paint, and that covered them enough, as I was going to be filling in my eyebrows later, which you can see here, which is more of a higher arch. You can see my eyebrows underneath them, but it wasn't really a big deal for me, so I didn't mind. Then filling in that tiny mustache. I did realise on some reference pictures that he was kind of split in half, so I do correct that later. So I'm just adding some black into the corners, and I'm extending my mouth just a little bit. Then using my favourite mechanical eyeliner, I am just applying that to both the upper and lower waterlines. And using one of my eyeliners, you don't really need to do this step, it just helped me figure out where everything needed to go and helped me figure out where the details were going later. And so I've just outlined it a little bit on the shoulders and the neck. And then what I'm doing is using a roll of my masking tape, and I'm using that to create the outside edge of the yellow lantern symbol in the middle. Then I'm using the inner edge of that to create another circle inside that. And then I used a little pot of blush and I used the outside of that to create the next circle, and then just freehanded the circle in the middle. That was a lot of circles. And then what I'm doing is creating all of the little lines just to figure out where each part of the symbol is going. And so I don't get confused, I did fill in a couple of the areas just to know that those parts will be black later. And any lines that overlapped, I just erased them with my finger. Now my camera was being a pain and would not cooperate to try and represent the colours correctly, so it may change a little bit in the near future. I used a yellow body paint for the costume and I mixed it in with some orange body paint just to try and map out where I wanted the shadows to go and just to try and see what colour I liked better. I did adjust the colours a little bit on the camera while I was filming, and so I've just mixed in some of that orange again after I filled in everywhere, and I've started to fill in where all the shadows are going, so just down pretty much the centre of my neck, on the sides and all along my collarbone. Then I've used some of the red brown from the skin tone palette, and I'm just using that right on the outer edges and all along the collarbone, and I do mix it in with some yellow and orange just to try and blend it into the colours, then having a very harsh outline. And I do go back and forth with blending the yellow back over the top again just to try and make it a smoother transition. And to create all those detail lines, I've just used the mix of the yellow and brown body paint. I could have gotten a lot more detailed with this one, but I didn't actually want to do a full body paint that day that I painted. I kind of left it up to the imagination. And for the Yellow Lanterns logo, I did look at a couple different reference pictures and all of them had different colours, so I decided to go with a silver mixed in with a little bit of the metallic gold as well. That kind of created like this cool effect where it looked like the silver was actually picking up the yellow that was around it, which I thought looked pretty cool anyway. And once that's all filled in with the silver and gold, I am going in with the black, carefully outlining it and then filling it all in. Then I'm also outlining right around the outside edge of the logo. Then I'm just repeating the process of applying the yellow body paint onto the arm, and then I'm using the darker mix on the outer edges just to give it a bit more dimension. Then I decided I didn't want a pure black on the arms just because I had a black background and it will kind of all blend in together. So I did use my darkest brown from the Skin Tones palette and blended that in with my strong black, so it was almost black but just a little bit brown. Just continuing that down my arms. And I'm just fixing up the mustache here. Just filling out the hairline with some black body paint and just a little bit into my hair as well. I don't have a wig, nor does my hair like being coloured, so I just put a black beanie over the top just to all blend it in. I did try to keep that quite symmetrical on both sides.